Yes guys, welcome back to Cop Noise TV. In this video we are looking at the big match build-up in the Premier League between Liverpool and Wolves. This is a massive part of the calendar if you ask me, and nothing but 3 points from the Reds away at Wolves this week. But before we look at Liverpool, let's have a look at the opposition review. So Wolves are currently sat rock bottom of the league, pretty much just awaiting their fate and being confirmed as relegated back to the Championship. Now at one stage, I think we were all expecting Wolves to take the wooden spoon off Derby County and be crowned the worst Premier League team in history. But credit to them, credit to their owners. They changed the manager, they brought in Rob Edwards, and he's obviously been brought in with a view to making them more competitive this season, but also with a view that they're going to go down eventually, and looking ahead, if you like, to getting them back into the Premier League, out of the Championship next season. And look, fair play to Rob Edwards, because he's done what he needed them to do. He's made them more competitive, and they actually carry a threat going forward now, and they've tightened things up a little bit in their defence. And this has led to them taking points off the likes of Arsenal, Newcastle, and most recently at the weekend just gone, 2-0 derby victory at home to Aston Villa. Now I actually watched that game, and you know, I've got to give credit to Wolves. They shocked me on how expansive they play now under Rob Edwards. They get the ball down, they like to play, they like to build from the back, and they take risks. So fair play to them for having the courage to do this, considering where they are in the Premier League. And when they get it right, like I said, they carry a threat going forward. They've brought Adam Armstrong in now, who, look, he's not a prolific striker. He's not a striker that's going to get you 15, 20 goals a season. But what he does bring is Premier League experience. He holds the ball up well too, which then allows your third-man runners to be brought into play. And a perfect example of this was the opening goal that Wolves got. I think it was João Gomez at the weekend against Villa. A lovely goal. Cross came in from the right-hand side. Armstrong, lovely little layoff, and Gomez finished it nicely into the top corner. So they've made some good, decent signings. But the standout player is obviously Matheus Mane, the young lad who I think we can all admit that at the start of the season, no one outside of Wolves had probably ever even heard of this kid. But since he's been brought into the team, he's grabbed the bull by the horns, and fair play to the lad, because I dare say he's probably one of the first names on the team sheet for Wolves week in, week out now. And there's no surprise really that he's been linked with a move away, considering that they're going to go down to the Championship. He's obviously a Premier League player. He's got the talent to be playing in the Premier League, and Liverpool have been linked with him. So that's a look at Wolves. Now let's have a look at the mighty Reds. So Liverpool are on a little bit of a hot streak at the moment, and before everyone thinks I'm going mad and talking absolute shite, bear with me, because I get it. I know the football still isn't amazing. We're still not blowing teams off the park, if you like. We're not playing this scintillating football, free-flowing football, the poetry in motion that we all want and crave from our Liverpool team. I totally get that. But let's face it, facts are facts, results are results, numbers do not lie. In the last 5 games, Liverpool have won 4 and lost only 1 game, and that 1 game that we did lose was at home to Manchester City. And I think we can all agree that there's no shame in losing to a team like Manchester City, and I dare say that game was probably, or arguably, one of our better performances of recent weeks gone by. And if anything, really, we should have taken at least a point from that game. And as I say, I know we still are playing amazing football. That is a fair assessment, but I do think it's important to point out where we was 4 or 5 months ago, and the turnaround that not only the players but the manager has shown in that period, and I want to credit James Redman for this. So I'm sure you all know who James Redman is. Shout out to James. I think he does great stuff, great content. But he gave an interview with Cop TV after the West Ham game, and he made some great points that I think a lot of the fan base forget about. So I want to just, I'm giving James a credit for this, although I feel the same as him, so I think it's important to stress that. But in September, November, we lost 6 out of 7 Premier League games, and in that 6 out of 7, we lost against Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace and Brentford, where I think games against Forest and Palace were absolutely shocking. Palace was one of the worst games I've ever seen Liverpool play, if I'm honest. We were leaking goals left, right and centre like a dodgy plumber. All the fans were obviously in uproar. We were pissed off the fact that we were losing. Everyone, let me rephrase that, let me rewind. Not everyone, but a lot of the fans were obviously questioning the manager and his job, his position within Liverpool Football Club. Our next 6 games after that, we won 4 and drew 2. So the manager and the players had to stop the rot, which is what all the fans wanted. We wanted to stop losing games. Right, let's just be competitive again. We all wanted that. So we did that, and yeah, job done. The next 4 games after that, the next 5 games after that, we had 4 pretty poor, I've got to say, there was poor draws, and we lost 1. And within some of those draws as well were some questionable performances, and some of them which I feel were self-inflicted. So remember back, there was the away performance at Leeds when we were 2-0 up. Ibu Kanate slides in, kamikaze, bloody suicide defending, whatever you want to call it, gives a penalty away, gets Leeds back into the game. Ellen Road gets a lift. We get another goal to make it 3-2 eventually, and we should see the game out, and it ends up being 3-3. You all know the rest. Again, to me, that was self-inflicted. Another one of those games which we drew in that period was the away performance against Fulham, which, when you remember, we got a late goal from Cody Gakpo. We all thought we'd gone on to win the game, and then we concede a worldie from Harrison Reed. So, can't really do much about that one. But again, this led to the fan base questioning the manager, and yeah, what can I say? So we were all again wanting Liverpool to be more competitive, start winning football games, which then brings me full circle back to the last 5 that I mentioned at the start of my Liverpool review, where we've won 4 and lost 1 of the last 5 games, and that one was against Man City. So for me personally, whilst, yes, I agree with what some of the fan base is saying about the football, let's just focus on the positive. Let's be positive, guys. And, we wanted to stop the rot. We wanted to stop losing. We did that. We wanted to turn those draws into wins, and we've done that. So let's give a bit of credit to the guys, to the manager, for the job that they are doing. And listen, we're back in the hunt now for top 4, maybe even top 3. I'll get on to that in a minute. And I touched on this briefly in one of my extra time special videos, and for those of you who haven't seen it, get over to the homepage after this video and check them out, because there's some really good content on there, in my opinion. But we are entering a critical stage of the season right now, because we've got favourable fixtures on paper, and I know football's not played on paper, but we have some favourable fixtures, i.e. Wolves and Tottenham coming up, and Brighton after that. But let's focus on the first 2. And I want to point out that in our competitors around us, Villa host Chelsea and Man United go to Newcastle this week. We go away to Wolves. So I know which one I would prefer. So teams around us are going to be taking points off each other. Then we've got the FA Cup weekend, and the next batch of Premier League fixtures, Chelsea host Newcastle and Man United host Villa. So all the teams around us are going to be dropping points. And if Liverpool can put 2 wins back-to-back here in the Premier League, not only will we be back in the hunt for top 4, but we'll be back in the hunt for top 3. It's not out of our grasp, and We just need to focus now on doing our job, whether we play shit or not. I really don't care. I just want to win football games between now and the end of the season now, and let's see what we can do. Now, in terms of squad selection, Liverpool are obviously waiting on the fitness of Florian Wirtz, who wasn't available at the weekend. But apart from that and the long-term absentees that we all know about, we've pretty much got the same squad selection as we did for the weekend. So here is my guess at what Arne Slot will do in terms of a starting 11 against Wolves this week. So Alisson Becker will play in goal. I think Joe Gomez will carry on playing at right back. I don't think he'll rush Jeremy Frimpong back, even though we saw him for maybe 10-15 minutes at the weekend and I thought he played great. He nearly assisted a goal for Trey Ione and he got a hand, shall we say, in, I think it was an own goal. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Jeremy Frimpong. I like him in the side. I think he offers a great attacking threat down that right-hand side. But I don't think the manager will rush him back. I think Joe Gomez will carry on playing there. Centre-halves pick themselves. You're going to have Ibu Konate and Virgil van Dijk. And left-back, I think Milos Kerkez will play. And the reason why I think Kerkez will play is because I think Andy Robertson will play the FA Cup tie at the weekend. So I think Kerkez goes again for this one and will sit out the tie on the Friday night. In terms of midfield, I'm going for one change, and I think Ryan Gravenberch will sit this one out. I was watching him quite close at the weekend. I've been watching him quite closely recently in some of the games, and he looks knackered to me. I won't say he's playing terrible or he's playing great. He's playing very average at the moment, way below the standards that he set last season, but he looks knackered. He looks like a player who could do with a week, even though Liverpool have just had a week off, so that kind of contradicts what I'm trying to say. But when he's on the football field, he looks knackered, so maybe he sits this one out. We'll see. I think personally he's going to go McAllister. I think Curtis Jones will play this one, and I think that's the reason why Trey Ione came on at the weekend before Curtis, because I think Curtis may play back-to-back games at Wolves in the league, then in the FA Cup. My personal opinion. I think Dominic Szoboszlai will obviously play. And then the front three, I think pretty much takes care of itself. You're going to have Cody Gakpo, Mo Salah and Hugo Ekitike go again. I will say though that I think Rio Wingamoa will start the FA Cup tie. So I don't think he will start this game, although I like the fact that Arne Slot is giving him more game time now rather than just giving him 5 or 6 minutes. He's actually getting a good 15 or so minutes now on the field, impacting the game, and the cameo that he had against West Ham, he looked electric, he looked ready to go, so exciting to see more of Rio, as I know a lot of you guys are. In terms of a score prediction, I think Liverpool will get a 2-0 victory, and Hugo Ekitike and Mo Salah is a much needed goal because I don't think he's scored now in 10 Premier League games, which is unheard of for Mo Salah. So yeah, I am literally praying for a Mo Salah goal, not just for me, but for Mo himself. Yeah. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think Arne Slot might do with his starting 11 and also what you think in terms of a scoreline prediction. And as always, if you haven't done already, please make sure you get over to the homepage, hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. It's much appreciated and it saves you guys missing out on any future content. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in a bit.